This computer. Awesome. Okay, good. We're recording. Yay! Okay, awesome. Welcome, you guys, to our team call tonight. I'm really excited for those of you who hopped on live, and then for those of you who are all going to get to watch this later. I was actually like crossing my fingers. We had flash flooding a second ago, and it was real crazy and real loud, and I was like, I hope our power doesn't go out. That's going to mess with my Zoom. Satan, get out of here. So he's moved on. So is that storm. We're good. So I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about a couple of things. First thing I wanted to announce for those of you that are semi-local, local to the Edmond area, Woodward area, I'm actually going to be going to Woodward September 19th. So put it on your calendars. If you're in that area, you know people in that area. September 19th, I will be going there to do a teach at the table. So we will be doing a food, just like we did in my home last month. Guys, if you're not doing these on your own wherever you are, they are so fun. So if you need to put one together in your location for people, I kind of highly suggest that, like Weatherford or California or wherever. But I will be in Woodward on September 19th. It's a Tuesday evening at 6:30. The location's kind of to be determined. Just based on the size of the event. And right now I'm thinking it'll probably be at my parents' home, and we will serve a meal, and it's super fun because everybody gets to come and they get to eat. And then when are you coming here, right? Like next week, Patty, next week. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll be there so soon. I love it. But so as soon as we can have that there, I feel like you guys will start having your own, because the minute we had it in my home, I absolutely loved it. And I had someone for about 7 months telling me no, she didn't want to purchase the nutrition set. She started this week. We purchased her nutrition set after that event, and it was kind of a bigger picture for her. There were men there, there were women there. They got a free meal out of the deal. It's a detox or a 30 days approved clean meal. All the consultants that came brought a piece of the puzzle of the food. So we had brown rice, and we had ground turkey, and we had guacamole. Everything was ready, and then we could just go through like a buffet style and eat. And they heard a nutrition class. And those class cards will be a teeny bit different than what you guys get on a Facebook Live wellness chat as well. So just so you know, those are going to be a little bit more in depth. So if your clients are getting ready to start a clean eating program and they've never been to a teach around the table, I would highly suggest doing one for yourself, and you can get those. I can get you the notes that we'll do for those, but it's just a little bit more in depth, talking about foods that we take out of our diet, giving them a much better education than what they're going to get on that really short wellness chat. So again, September 19th, 6:30 in Woodward, teach around the table. I'll be connecting with all the consultants that are in that area, Moreland, Woodward. If you guys want to hop in from Weatherford, I'm trying to think of anybody else around there. No, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll kind of get with you guys about what food items you can bring, and to be inviting for that. Obviously, you don't need to start inviting today, but have it on your calendar for September. I'm so excited. It's awesome, and you guys are really going to love it. I can promise you. My husband actually helped a lot with that one last time, because he was inviting a bunch of couples, because I wanted it to be a kind of a family-friendly environment for couples to come get a free meal, date night, get a babysitter for the kids, and come get a free meal. You can't pass that up. So September 19th, see you guys then. Tonight, all we're going to do is a quick training. This is something that I want you guys to take a lot of notes over. This is a book I'm currently reading, and I've got all marked up. It's Failing Forward by John Maxwell, John C. Maxwell. If you're looking for a leadership book, he's the guy. He is your guy for sure, because he has so many leadership books. One of my favorite short, teeny tiny, looks like it should be on the back of a toilet book, is Make Today Count. And it's so good because it gives you, just like we've talked about, consistency. It gives you some great information on what you can be doing daily to grow your business. So if you're looking for some great leadership books, maybe you're in a heart book right now and you want to move to more of a practical book, a great leadership book is going to be by John Maxwell, and I can give you some recommendations. But right now, especially if you're in the beginning of your business, this one is awesome. It's awesome, and I don't know why I didn't read it at the beginning of my business. Honestly, I wish I would have. So it's called Failing Forward, which sounds so funny. I think, guys, if I'm being really honest, and I've talked to a lot of you, and I have a lot of you on Voxer with me, one of our biggest fears, and even one of mine, is failure. It's failure. I'm scared to fail. I'm scared to put myself out there and not complete a task I have set out to do for myself, right? And or for our team. And I will tell you that I've learned more from failure than I have from my successes. I've learned way more from my failures than I have from my successes. And he talks so much about how it builds character to fail forward and to grow from your failed attempts. So I want you guys to get rid of, there's a fly. Get rid of, Patty, don't laugh at me. I know what you're thinking out there. There she goes again, squirrel. But I want you guys to get rid of that perfection. Like, okay, am I doing everything right? No, you're not. And I'm not teaching it perfectly. And I'm not perfect. And you're not going to be perfect. And you know what's going to be awesome about that? Is you're going to draw people in because of your weaknesses, not your strengths. Because they're going to go, oh, she can do that. I can do it. She totally just buffed that. Like, she can buff that, then I can mess it up too, and it's okay. So I want you to realize that I don't do everything perfect. I promise you. And the more you get to know me, the more you're going to realize that. And so I hope that it makes it easier for you guys to realize, okay, if Jamie can be where she is, not being perfect, then I can be where she is because I don't have to be perfect. And I don't want you to feel like you have to be that either. So we kind of take that out of this. I'm going to read a little bit from this book. I love this one. This is a couple different quotes and then a little story that I could really relate to. But one of the quotes was, the difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. So the difference between average people, we don't want to be average, we want to be achieving. The difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. How do you respond to failure? Maybe write that question down so you can ask yourself that later. How do I respond to failure? Do I go numb? Do I shut down? Do I quit responding into a boxer? Do I not ask someone because someone told me no? Or I totally like voice message that person and that was so bad they're never gonna respond so you don't do it again. Guys, I've done all of it. I failed through all of it. Honestly, I feel like the reason I am where I am is because I failed enough to get here. Not in a negative way, but I saw it as a learning experience. So I want you to see those as learning experiences. Lauren and I were talking about this, and Harley too, just the other day, whenever, you know, okay, instead of thinking it as a failure, and I'm talking specifically for me, when people leave my business, I used to consider that me being a failure because people were leaving my business. And guys, I've been doing this business for 6.5 years. You bet your bottom dollar people left my business, right? And the first time that happened, I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I do wrong? I want you to go and assess the situation. What can I learn from that? It's not, I will tell you, it's 9 times out of 10 not your fault if someone leaves your business. Probably 9.5 or 9.9 times out of 10. That's their choice. It's their choice to leave the business. It's their business, right? So I don't want you, and if you haven't ever had anybody leave your business yet, it's okay when it happens, and just know that that's part of the game. Not even game, but part of business and life. Things happen. People change their mind. They change their mind. Okay, so here I'm going to read you a quick story. This is from chapter 10. The chapter is called Grasp the Positive Benefits of Negative Experiences. I would like to avoid all negative experiences at all costs. Like, I don't like confrontation. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. I like to keep people happy. I do not like to have to tell someone they're not doing a good job. Like if my house cleaner comes an hour later, I'm a little irritated about it, but I'm going to sweep it under the rug. Like I'm one of those people. I like to keep everybody happy, okay? But this says, grasp the positive benefits of negative experiences. So I'm going to read you a quick little story. Working artists David Bales and Ted Orland tell a story about an art teacher who did an experiment with his grading system for 2 groups of students. It's a parable of the benefits of failure. Here's what happened. So the ceramic teacher, of course I could relate to this, right? I've been in a ceramics class. It actually was hard. And it was on the wheel. So you had the wheel, and the wheel kind of controlled everything. I didn't have as much control as I thought I did. When the wheel gets spinning, the clay goes flying unless you have control, and you have to use a lot of muscle. And I wasn't strong. Like, the teacher had huge muscles and she wasn't doing CrossFit, okay? Like, she was buff. So this is a pottery class, okay? The ceramics teacher announces on the first day of class that he's dividing the class into 2 different groups. And all those on the left side of the studio are going to be graded solely on the quantity of the work that they produce. I'd love that. I would love that. I'm like, shoot, I can whip out some clay pots. Let me try this out, right? Solely on the work that they produce, as much work as they produce. The rest on the right, it's only based on quality, okay? Quantity is over here, so think of it as experience. And over here is perfection, right? Because it's quality. It's what is graded, the quality, okay? His procedure was simple. On the final day of class, he would bring in his bathroom scales and weigh the work of the quantity group. 50 pounds of pots rated an A, 40 pounds a B, and so on. Those being graded on quality, however, needed to produce only 1 pot. That's it, 1 pot. Sometimes I think we think of our business like that. Okay, like 1 shot and I'm to the top of the company. 1 party is gonna get me my next ace. 1 this, 1 that. Guys, that's not it. It's an accumulation of all the things that we do in our business, okay? It's not just the one thing. So those being graded on quality, however, needed to produce only 1 pot, albeit a perfect one, to get an A. Well, came grading time, and a curious fact emerged. The works of the highest quality were all produced by the group being graded for quantity. Why? They had to practice. They needed a lot. They figured out how to fail forward, right? Because they screwed up on a pot, they figured a better way to make it the next time. You know, it might have not been pots. Actually, they don't say that in here, but I'm imagining pots on a pottery wheel, okay? Get good with the visual here. But it seems while the quantity group was busily churning out piles of work and learning from their mistakes, the quality group had sat theorizing. How many of you do your business in your head all day long? And then, crud, I haven't done anything in my business today because I thought about how perfect I could make it. Guys, I've so done that. I've so done that. So don't learn from my mistakes, right? Let me fail forward a little bit for you. The quality group had sat theorizing about perfection and in the end had little more to show for their efforts than grandiose theories and a pile of dead clay. So they really didn't have anything to show for it because they were so worried about making it perfect. If they had practiced more, they would have gotten to where they needed to be. They would have gotten quality out of it, right? But they were so focused on making the one, that big shot. Guys, it's not ever gonna be in a big shot. It's not ever gonna be this big giant push or leap from district manager to national vice president. And if it is, you got a whole lot of work to do on the other side of an MVP. And I can promise you that from MVP after MVP that I've talked to, they've told me, if you shoot straight to the top really quickly, you've got a ton of work on this end, they can stay in MVP, great. Or if you work it all out in the middle, you get up here and you've got work too, but guys, you worked it out in the middle when maybe the spotlight isn't on you. I kind of like that part, right? Like, don't watch me fail. I'm the only one seeing me fail in the little spots, right? So failing forward has to do with practicing. And I'm going to talk a teeny bit about that whenever I close this out here in just a second. But let's see here. Okay, to achieve your dreams, you must embrace adversity and make failure a regular part of your life. Write this down. If you're not failing, you're probably not really moving forward. If you're not failing, you're probably not really moving forward. I love giving you guys opportunity, and I did this with Angie today. I feel like it helps a lot when I send you guys text messages that you can use to send over to people or verbiage to use. I think that's super beneficial. Guys, how did we get that? We failed forward. We figured it out in the process. Why do our Facebook Lives all look the exact same right now? Because we figured out a system that works. Why do our parties have class cards? Because we figured out a system that works. We have failed forward. You know, there's probably parties in the past that didn't have any class cards. My parties in the very beginning of my business didn't have a close table. We didn't sit down with a group of, with everybody individually and talk to them at the end. I didn't even know how to do that. It was like, okay, if you want to order, here's a paper and whatever. Guys, how did I promote to district manager? I don't even know. I don't even know. We didn't have sets. We didn't have sets. We have failed forward, right? We've learned from our experiences. You can choose to shut it down, shut yourself down and go, okay, well, I talked to 5 people and like all 5 people are just deciding that now's not a really good time. And instead of assessing, okay, did I ask direct? Was I direct? Did I ask effectively? Not beating yourself up. It's nothing about you looking at you and going, okay, am I doing this correctly or am I not? This is actually you assessing the situation and learning from your mistakes. I remember the very beginning of this year when we started doing all these Facebook Lives, the main thing I kept hearing was feedback, feedback, feedback. Give me your feedback. What's working? What isn't working? Guys, I was willing to work through the feedback to figure out how to do a Facebook Live, about how to lead people. Where does my business want to go? It wants to go global. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have to do it virtually. I've got to figure that out, right? Got to figure out how it's going to work virtually. So I'm choosing to fail forward. I feel like there's one other thing that I wanted to read to you guys. Okay, yeah. The process of achievement comes through repeated failures and the constant struggle to climb to a higher level. So the process of achievement comes through repeated failures and that struggle. That's where you learn. It's in the struggle. You don't learn if everything was handed to you. Like if I just constantly tied my kids' shoes, are they going to learn how to tie them? No. If I constantly cut up their food, are they going to learn? I knew a girl that I used to work with in a restaurant who didn't know how to sweep a floor, for Pete's sake, because somebody always did it for her. Guys, be willing to fail forward. And they were like, it was weird. She would like shove things around. They were telling me stories about her. I was like, how do you not know how to sweep? Guys, I'm not going to hand you every single key you need to have. Be okay with failing forward. And here's the other thing. I talked about this at our retreat a little bit too, but when you decide to work in a zone that's comfortable for you, not saying we're not going to get outside our comfort zones, but kind of feels like a sweet spot for you, you learn to stretch your comfort zone a little bit, and you learn to fail forward a little bit. And you learn that it's okay. It's okay. You stretch that boundary. It's okay to stretch that boundary. So here's the thing. I'm going to wrap it up completely. I told you this would be short. Guys, I want you to be comfortable with failing forward consistently. If there's one thing that I can duplicate with you guys, it's going to be consistency. That's all it is. That is my recipe for success. That is what I can hand over to you, and I can say, as long as you are consistently working in your business every single day, and I didn't say for 8 hours. I didn't say for 25 hours. I'm talking consistently doing the way you work your business that provides you income producing activity, that shows you how to sell sets. As long as you're doing that consistently, that is your recipe for success. But you have to be willing to screw it up every now and then. And I'm not saying screw up your consistency. I'm saying mess up talking to somebody on the phone. Mess up launching somebody correctly. Mess up, guys, it's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. I don't expect perfection out of you. I don't want you to feel like you have to be perfect, but I do want you to know that this is a safe place to fail forward, and that's where achievers are. They failed forward. I was talking with Alyssa just yesterday, our national vice president, and she was like, Jamie, I still mess up. And I was like, I'm so glad I could hear you say that. Because if you've been in her presence, you feel like everything's perfect in her life, right? So it's really nice to know that somebody at the very tippy top of this company who runs a wildly successful business can still mess up and fail forward like we do, right? And if you want that recipe to success, it's consistently fail forward, not fail. I like to call it a learning experience because fail sounds super negative. This isn't a super negative environment. I want you to test the waters a little bit, okay? So anyway, guys, that was a little bit about what I had for you tonight. I will tell you I prayed over this training because I wanted it to be short and sweet and straight to the point, and I hope that it blessed you guys and that it encouraged you to get out there, maybe read another book, maybe get into some John Maxwell, maybe fail forward a little bit, and don't be scared, because if you're not practicing, you're not achieving. If you're not out there working your way to figuring out how well Patty does it and Lauren and Harley and Angie and Whitney and Jeannie do it, then sorry guys, we're not doing it. We're not doing our business. So get out there and actually work at it and go, okay, well, I talked to somebody today and I totally like buffed that up. I just did not do a good job. That's sorry, it's my word choice of the evening, but didn't do a good job. Guys, I've had so many of those where I'm like, wow, can I rewind like 5 minutes from when I started that? But I got back up, I learned from it, and I knew what I was going to do the next time. So go out there and fail forward, and have a really ridiculously awesome rest of your week. Guys, you have very few days left till the end of the month, but enough time to consistently fail forward in the process, okay? I love you guys, and I will be talking to y'all soon.